I wanted to spew this because I've been clicking dots and upgrading things here and there, as of course I do quite passively right now. And and this particular emotion I found it hasn't worked with the heart-oriented crystals, and it also hasn't worked with the clear quartz crystals, and it hasn't worked with the green tourmaline, although it has with clear quartz cluster like this. And again, now it's like a huge segment to the crystal world that I previously didn't know about, because I haven't heard anybody give this information away online. Though I've had very high quality crystals. Like this one's basically just been sitting on side mostly for the past year and a half, and I've gotten one or two others which were just sitting by. That they were rare crystals, although I just didn't know how to use them, and now I know how to use them. So I'm gonna tell you all about it in this video of just basic easy qigong principles. And the reason why I posted the last one, two, three Christmas memes for for it was oriented towards having like I targeted this evening's qigong meditation with the method that I'm about to tell you towards the hope that, like, I felt prodded. I really felt prodded by the crystals. And by the way, I believe that if you want to access the angelic world, then I think you have two options. One, distant energy transfer, like to just connect to someone through distance. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's just the way the world is. If you don't have a lot of positivity and a lot of angels around you right now, then you're probably going to have to access them from someone else. Like me, Diana Cooper, Mia Kafka's Jerry Sargent. What was her name again? And Jerry Sargent's girlfriend or wife, or perhaps Skylife for Activation Vibration has them. That's like that's going to be far-fetched for most people who just haven't expanded their third eyes to transfer and the other distance to and from people over YouTube. It's crazy how that part of the world works today. Though that's just how it is. These crystals, once you learn how to use them and learn how to communicate with them and learn basic qigong with them, and I've learned to do basic what I call esoteric human language, which the pragmatics of calling it esoteric human language give way to a lot of very useful pragmatics. In other words, it means that I can speak this innate language from my heart or my kidney, for example, speak a particular emotion from the emotion stored in those organs to a person who's open to it and connected to me. Although there's a phrasing light language, or the light language community, just takes all those pragmatics away, because all of a sudden they're just going based on what they feel instead of quite a more structured way of maneuvering the thing. And esoteric human language enables, at least me, to when I speak to the crystal in esoteric human language, in energy world language, I feel like the crystals just have a lot more power to them. That they just have a lot more power. They have a lot more energy to them, and I believe that if you want the most readily available source of the angelic world, then go ahead, sketch your thoughts on a mind map and use crystal with that mind map. And I think that's my most productive way of giving requests to angels, because you don't want to pester them, and at least with a crystal mind map, it's thoughtful and it fulfills basically the only reason why you have crystals in the first place, is to guide you through in certain situations. And you can also just directly ask directly ask the crystal just to see if there's any angels that can help you with what you're going through. So anyway, the pragmatics which I've been going through over, say, the past week, like, it's been really tough over the past week, and this is how I've been guiding this is how I've been, like, it's been better. If I didn't have these methods, then I think I would have gotten crushed. These methods have very reliably refreshed my heart, and they've at least took the edge off what could have been way worse pain than has been over the past week. Given that I also don't, like, I have been eating a lot of fruit and stuff because I haven't had 85% cocoa content chocolate in the cabinets. I've had to cope with that. I don't smoke, and I haven't had to use it to tuning fork. Haven't had to it. So what was I trying to say? I haven't had to cope that much. I haven't had to cope that much because I've pragmatized balancing the body out using crystals and the chakra system quite a lot. Though, along with the chakra system, I think that if you're not holding yourself enough to use the basic qigong methods to do self-maintenance work, then I think the main pervasively useful acupressure points and acupoints are the most useful. Say, if I can't do this basic heart exercise and qigong, then it means that can't breathe, like, just for a certain situation, it means that I'm not emotionally human there. It means that I think it perfectly plugs into what John Grinder said about six-step reframing in the subtle principles of it. One, it implies neuroticism, although it implies just a great disconnect of reality between, essentially, I think it means you're not willing to face that situation fully, and you're disconnected from yourself. Some part of you is just disconnected from it. And I think that's where the acupoints really come in handy, in them being powerful enough to change, to override even torture, at least physically, like I've used before. Although, of course, it's where it gets more complex, because according to AcuPro Academy, well, first of all, you actually need to know what point to target, and I don't think that much of the space gives you the information for the positive emotional side of things. Though, initially I was just going through some searches on YouTube for crystal chakra body placement balancing, and found actually nothing useful. And my current perspective for the action to take is, if something is very generalized, I believe it's going to be spread through a lot of organs in your system, pragmatically speaking. I got from David Snyder this method that I've extended concepts here and there from. For, say the theme of the last few videos that I've put out, just hope for making someone's day for Christmas. Okay, where can I point to locations in my body where that hope is? And immediately, like, it's just right there. And coincidentally enough, that's directly next to my long one main pervasively useful meridian point here. Though, like, you can guess that that's also going to be in my heart right here. So one of the main points here, so So, but rather, so the online guides will tell you what chakra this crystal is mainly useful for, and they assume to place it on the chakra that's most useful. And I'm going to give another perspective to that, because again, technical terms on ground is unconscious assimilation. When you're doing qigong, your system is, without you realizing it, pulling in the energy from all of your energy lines and whatever it can grab from your system. Say, for example, if you place a crystal directly in front of your toes, and you say feel all of your heart, or you do a basic heart qigong exercise, your system is going to automatically pull the energy from any crystals that you've placed down by your toes into your system to use. And so, one of the first steps in me clicking some cogs together was that, like, I was using crystal body placements very effectively, although I wanted more from it, and I didn't feel like just having the crystal sitting there, plus also not having another person do balancing with you. I didn't feel like the crystals sitting there, perhaps in bed or just lying down on a sofa, were enough in themselves to get the benefit that I wanted. So I put in basic dragon and tiger qigong with it. The just flagships. I'm very experienced in the flagships. I can do them on other people, and I can even do them at a distance to people. I have the mental muscle memory for the dragon and tiger flagship movements ingrained into my system. Though I've been focusing just solely on clearing out on how much power can I get with clearance crystals, with cleaning out my lungs with, I believe the name is dragon and tiger meat, or just the basic heart qigong exercise again. And dragon and tiger meat, I believe, can be rephrased to cleaning out your the energy of your lungs and your liver for the situation which you intend to target. And again, if that's it, you can ask yourself, is this, with this context, do I have hope for making someone's day in my heart? And if I can point to it, yes. Again, this, and I believe that each time you point to a positive situation like this or a negative situation, you're at least acknowledging it on that level, and you can start working with it. Do I have hope for making someone's day in my lungs? And it's right here in the aura of my left lung right now. Is it in my right lung? Yes, it is, although for some reason it feels very painful and dense there. Do I have it in my liver? And just feeling that it makes me feel very happy right here. So the concept that I ended up with was that, for one thing, this crystal works very well for hope for me, and is more surprising. I wasn't able to feel the clearance crystals or the heart-oriented crystals, although was able to feel like this made a significant impact. And I was initially going for the pericardium lung connection on heart 8. This point's either heart 8 or heart 9, and the effect was immediately most of my emotional baggage, and just most of my emotions, I believe, was contained within my large intestine meridian, and of course physically my large intestine, right? I'm just gonna test. Is there any? I can feel a lot of hope for making a person's day for Christmas in my large intestine. It feels quite exciting down there. And I have not heard anybody really talk like this on YouTube, because I believe the spiritual space is just way too damn generalized and not nearly as pragmatic as it needs to be. So I had this crystal. I'm not right now. I'm not questioning as much as to where to place this crystal. Like I just placed it on my root chakra for YouTube's terms. Well, like to just play like gut, personal power chakra, heart chakra, or root, or between the legs. I'm not that concerned here because I'm just looking. I'm just looking for pervasive benefit here. So I had this on my root chakra, and it just got my thumb, and can either do this with large intestine or two warm muscle linings of the heart fingers right here. And my intention was literally just to get the ball moving, get the energy ball moving in here. Like feel the hope that's in the heart part of my left hand, and and circulated initially, which I believe is quite crucially important in itself because of what I was taught in neurolinguistic programming for denormalizing something, setting something back into motion. Though, just by feeling it and then circulating it, what I believe is going to happen is my system automatically going to draw in energy from this thing through my root chakra, wherever it's placed, if it's placed in the right place, into the act of me through my breath. I'm gonna breathe without realizing it, breathe the energy of that clear quartz cluster in and start circulating it. And the aim was to circulate as much of it as I could, as much hope for making present day as I could, through my large intestine meridian right there, and felt very good, and my lung meridian right there. And then, because crystals are all for guidance, and if you are genuinely using the angelic realm correctly, then I believe that God and also the devil, although God comes and shows God's self in what happens. So this should trigger. It's going to be extremely hard to acknowledge how it happens if it's going to be a subtle process and it's not going to be an explicit process. So the point is, in doing this, is to get more momentum for the positive thing to happen, and then just to have life show you how to trigger more and more of these positive events as a person personally who wants to trigger as much positive karma overload as humanly possible. And well, I just think that with the majority of the poor middle class, according to Dan Pena, being spiritual or religious, for which I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, I believe in God, although I have my own belief system for the esoterics that don't think really anybody else have. Like, I am in a niche minority here. Oh yeah. Like, I think that you can just say to the average person, I think I got positive karma from this, or I think this is karma for this. I think this is negative karma for doing that to a person. And they'll just go, like, what? And with in implicit meaning of what are you what are you thinking? That doesn't relate to that. You've got this context right here. Anyway, this is a new method that I'll be referring to whenever I want to feel hope for really anything, because I had quite a really bad meaning in my head when I started out, and I felt like the other crystals that I had in my system just did not want to leave my body for a time, and that I was able to get enough light into my system again just to ditch that negativity, and then to go to something that builds momentum towards something that's greatly positive. Tell me if this embellished your day, it matters to me, and see you in the next video.